Hello everyone and welcome back to Mount Mac. This is Mac Plays on Mac and we are now entering episode 13. In lucky episode 13, we have a lot of things happening today, so it's crazy. We're gonna play with the UK packs. We also have the Japan packs that has been released, and on top of it, they just released a whole new pack. Not really a pack, it's more like a game update, and release some new services buildings, some new roads, parking, the detailer patch too. It's just incredible, so many new things. But now let's go back into what I'm actually doing, and as you can see, I have an amazing perfect grid. I found a way to be able to get the grid as smooth as possible, as you know, like when it's not very capricious, and the very easy way to do it is by actually deselecting the two right snapping tools options, and it makes a perfect grid like this. I just love it. Now I build all of this as some low residential UK, and it's gonna look amazing, like an actual neighborhood. I'm still gonna rework the road, and I'm also gonna change that in the future. That's why it's a tight grid, you know. It's when it's gonna expand, it's gonna be more dense, but right now I think what I need a lot is this kind of single housing, and there was a great location. We're gonna later down the road expand all the way to the highway, but for now that's what we have. I'm increasing some road capacity, and we're also gonna make another connection to the main road right there. You can see I'm struggling here because actually the snapping tool, as soon as you change from one type of road to another one, and by this I mean from small road to medium road, you need to change the snapping tools, and sometimes I forgot about this, so that's why I was struggling. Alright, so now we have our neighborhood, our beautiful new neighborhood, but we need services. So I already added a church in the last episode, which is also a cemetery, but now I have so many new people living here that I need schools, and especially the elementary school, and that's why I was going to build here. And now I need more room. I want to build the UK high school. It's a beautiful big asset. I love it. I'm actually gonna make them all together as one location, and for this we're just gonna have to modify a bit the assets. We're gonna add first off some different kind of sports for the high school, trying to make it a bit more grand, and we're gonna delete all of the outside the barriers. We're gonna increase the pathway size. We're also gonna get rid of some of the trees. We're gonna make a connection so they look like they actually belong together and part of the same asset. We're also gonna max up the elementary school because we do need a lot of capacity for this school. Now let's make sure all of the color matches for the different surfaces. We're also gonna get rid of all of the trees because they kind of mark the old border, and I don't like it. I want the whole surface here to be the high school. We're also gonna add some parking lot for a big asset. The parking lot is very small here, and I think it needs more parking, especially in high school in the US where a lot of kids drive. They have much more substantial parking lot. Now we're gonna build a fence all around, an actual hard fence. I think it's gonna look great with the asset over here, and then we're gonna replant some trees. I mean, we're gonna add a bunch of different kind of trees all around. We're gonna go with the oaks, with the linden, with the apple tree. I want this place to feel real, to feel decorated, to be a happy place for the kids to be there. Now, a couple of things that I'm not 100% happy with this asset, particularly the high school, is how small the football field and the athletic tracks are, unfortunately. So I'm gonna get rid of one of them and make the football field bigger later because I don't think it match. So here we're gonna repurpose this. This is just a giant amount of space wasted. So instead of having a very large parking lot, we're actually gonna use just a large parking lot. It fits perfectly in here, and then I'm gonna move that bus station. I didn't like the location over there to right next to the parking lot, and that's something I love about City Skyline 2. When you modify the assets, you can even remodify after where you add the extra, for example here, platforms or the shopping spot of the bus station. You can just move them around to put them to a different location, and that's just incredible. And here right there, I'm gonna add an extra road because I feel there is more room that we can use. First we're gonna do all of the offices, but here we're gonna add an extra road, and we're gonna add our first Japanese asset to the build. So this is when the Japanese region pack just came out, and I wanted to see what the asset looked like. I was very excited about it, and I honestly don't think this is the best location for it. Right now we'll just leave it there. As you can see here, I changed the football field to make it bigger and to the side. Now our elementary school is already filled all the way to the brink, so I'm trying to add more. I tried to put it on location over there, but it didn't fit, so we're gonna actually have it over here for now. We'll see how I like it. I'm not sold exactly on the location yet, but all of my elementary school are just filled again, so we're gonna have to think about how to improve that in the next episode as well. Now this is a very good location for a train station. I think it's gonna reach the whole community here, and I just love it. I don't even have to move too much tracks. The only issue that I have is it's gonna be a crossing level with a main road, and I'm not very happy with this. So ideally it will be an elevated platform, but right now I didn't feel like building one. I don't think like the density also from the area needed realistically one. So we upgraded that brand new station that we got with the modern assets, and I wanted to have this road in front of it, but a pedestrian road. So we're gonna still have it as a regular road so people can access the parking lots, but then the middle section of this road is just gonna be a pedestrian walkway. So I'm struggling here to try to get the right place where the road stops, and I just gave up and just move it. I was trying to do it vanilla, and I just like, oh, you know what, never mind. So here what I'm gonna do as well is I'm gonna get an extra access to the parking lot. I'm gonna build an invisible road right there, and then we're gonna extend the asphalt all the way to the road, so it gives people an extra exit entry point. Let's make sure that the train can stop here, and this is a perfect place for a plaza / park. We're gonna go with a park. So I'm going to change the surface to make it a very nice park taken care of, and then I'm trying to see which kind of assets suit the best. I'm looking at everything we have, and I think this is the best one right there. Now we're gonna make sure that this asset looks like it belongs here, that it was built for here, so we need to expand it to make sure that it fills the whole triangular odd shapes that we have. And just like this, I'm gonna build a bunch of pathway all around it, and we're gonna also add a couple commerces into it, and finally I make tree everywhere. And look at this, it looks like this park was just meant to be here. I honestly love this park itself, like the asset itself, but the way this fits right there is just amazing to me. I love it. Now since we changed the plan for this area, I know we just built all of this housing, but next to a big road like this, an arterial, we need some businesses, we need some commercials. This is gonna be the business artery of the area, and I decided to go with Japanese building everywhere, and that was a mistake. I think it was too white, too much white. I mean, the Japanese assets are very, very cool, but it's true that all of their roof, even if when you zoomed in have a lot of details, when you zoom out it looks just plain white, too much. And I wanted to change that a bit to make sure that we have different kind of buildings and different type of building as well. So that's why I went for some offices on top of commercials, and we're actually even going to be more restrictive in what's there. I want to make sure there's some parking area too, and that's one of the issues I had. It was just a bunch of big building with no parking spot, and this is not very realistic here. I mean, we are in a suburban context, so we need parking, even if some people are going to be able to walk. So I'm just going around and trying to see where it fits to have a parking lot, and so I'm adding these there. Like for example, this is a very cool asset, but I'm gonna say, hey, this one belongs with this one, so we're gonna get rid of the fence in between the two buildings. Now here we're gonna add some fake parking because no parking fit the area as well as I wanted, so we're just gonna plop some decals. It's not usable, but it's gonna look good. And just like this, we're also gonna redo this one with a regular commercial building instead of the two offices. I didn't really like the way the two offices were. And here, let's just get closer. Let's add more housing, just like this. Also, I try to get growing our first urban promenade assets. Unfortunately, the population doesn't require it. My demand is not there yet, so that's the issue. Growing is very hard in this game if you don't have an actual grid, like a beautiful grid, and the grid is so snappy in some way. It's very frustrating. I was very happy to be able to get it the way I wanted for that main part over there. I wasn't as successful because the first road, the main road that I had at the beginning, didn't fit perfectly. I was not using the same technique at the beginning, so that was my main issue, and I tried to fix it. I was too lazy to rebuild the whole thing, unfortunately. Now we're entering in the newest part of the build. This was the part that was recorded after the detailer patch part 2 was released, and I'm using this amazing new road with parking road included. This area, I was never happy with it. It was just a placeholder, so I just decided to redo it right there. It was a perfect time to do it. We're going to use a bunch of new assets that we received with the urban promenade as well. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I was very worried that I will not be able to play the game anymore, because as soon as I updated, the game was crashing and not even able to boot up. So I tried everything. I unsubscribed from most of the assets. I did all of the things that I wanted, and finally the one thing that worked was to delete the whole game and to reinstall everything, and all of my assets were back in, everything was working. But it took me a while to figure this out. Now we have a bunch of new incredible assets, new small parks. We also have the fix with the homeless population, which honestly I ran for overnight just to make sure that it was going to be smooth, because it takes a time for the game. The game is a bit jittery while I figure out what to do with all of the homeless crowd and stuff like this. And my population, some people said their population got down. Mine actually did not go down at all. It just kept going up. Maybe it's because of bye homeless I did a short while before actually updating, and most of my homeless population was gone already. I don't know, I cannot explain. But anyway, let me describe what we're doing here. So I'm building this densely packed with some medium density building neighborhood. I want everything to be walkable with a parking lot in the middle. And the thing is, our assets are very rigid. They are all very straight, and it's hard to follow curves. So I'm trying to work around this, and we don't have enough building ish. Like in City Skyline 1, we were able to have some tools that make us being able to construct or make the item blend together. Here it's much harder, so I need always to make them either touch each other, either inside each other, and then delete what I don't want on the outside, like what I'm gonna do with this one right there. You see, I'm getting them closer. I'm gonna build another asset in the middle of it, and I'm gonna do the same over here, and in the back I'm just gonna delete all of the conflict point. It works. It's not ideal, it's not amazing, but I think on this curve this is the best I could do over there. So let's get rid of all of this backward, and then we're gonna make sure there is a nice connection with the pedestrian connection in the back. For the corner lot though, this is where it becomes tricky, because I don't have this kind of asset, unfortunately. I have to be creative, and I'm out of my comfort zone here. We have so many new assets, it's incredible. I don't know all of them yet, that's why I'm looking at everything. I'm discovering everything right now, and usually I don't build in this kind of shape, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I love the result of it. It's gonna look like when you're gonna see the final result of this small neighborhood, it's gonna be very cool. I'm still wishing that some of these assets didn't add these giant white walls. And I need also more window assets, more window props that I can actually plop onto these walls, because I'm tired of reusing always the same one and the same technique as well. So for some building, I just decide to actually get another building on the corner over there. It doesn't fit exactly the way I want it, but it makes it less a giant white wall. And honestly, you're gonna see. Judge by yourself. Tell me what you're gonna think. So now here we are connecting everything, we're detailing a bit, making sure all of the surfaces go all the way to the street or to the pedestrian. We're gonna add some trees, some greenery, vegetation, and hide a bit some of the mess that we don't want to see and make it more realistic as well. Now, the one thing that came up after the update is also these assets over there don't look the same anymore. Like I'm gonna have to redecorate. I lost a bunch of trees, I lost all of the little details that I did, so I will take care of this later. But here, take a look at this amazing neighborhood. I honestly like it. I can't wait for the 2 more buildings to be able to grow, and we'll also finish on the next episode with much more details, particularly onto that side here that I'm gonna just spend a few minutes. It's not been growing for a while. I tried to get like different kind of housing, different kind of shops and stuff like this, and this has not been growing. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just change it to actual office spaces and to commercial spaces, because that's what's in demand right now. And later we're actually gonna customize all of this place just like what I did on the right side. I just don't know what I'm gonna put there yet, so this is just placeholder again, and just to fill in the demand that I currently have. I think this is now a good time to see what we did today. Encore merci à tous. Thank you so much everyone for tuning in. This opens so many more possibilities for the future. I am so excited about what's gonna happen. Now, one little thing, the game crashes much more often for me, but so excited. See you next week. Bye bye.